So today I want to talk about a change that I saw in the supermarket after quite a few decades. So this is based on brown eggs. So we've had brown eggs in the UK for quite a number of years, for decades now. Now the reason for this is that brown eggs dominate the UK markets. Grocers and supermarkets in the 1970s found out that brown eggs sold better than white eggs. This was partly due to marketing and partly to do with folklore. Eventually, all commercially produced eggs from hens were produced with brown shells. So I remember getting white eggs, but they petered out, and I haven't seen or bought or had a white egg for at least 30 to 40 years. So maybe going back as early as the early 1980s, about 40 years ago. Now, in January 2023, there is, of course, the high cost of living. So there's a cost of living crisis going on, and there's avian flu going on in the UK as well. But I couldn't get eggs for the last few weeks. There was almost no eggs on sale in a lot of places, all very expensive, but very few. But I managed to just now get a box of 15, which you can see here, and they are white. And that's the first time I've seen white eggs being sold in a supermarket for quite a few decades. So I'll put a review at the end, and you can let me know what eggs you get sold wherever you are, and if you've seen them and been able to get them. But this is the first time I've had a white egg for many years, actually in a few decades. I'll put some prices up here as well, what they cost and what they are in some other countries as well. And then we'll do a test. I'll show you some images of what I took. So you can see a box of 15 here. They are British eggs, they're stamped and printed on them. They are mixed. They look like they're the same size when you look briefly at the box. When you open them up, they are different sizes, but these are quite large actually compared to small ones. I've been getting 15 brown ones from other supermarkets up to this point, and they're printed with the UK certified and so on. If you look next, you can see an image of the eggs that I made. I made 5 here, and they look better than when I cook with brown eggs. But you can see that the yolks have broken quite easily. That's one thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed is that the shells broke easily without breaking into many parts, which is much better than brown eggs. So I really preferred it that way. The yolks being broken, maybe it's my method of cooking, but I've seen 4 broken here and 1 unbroken, and usually it would be the other way around with the brown eggs. But the shells, cleaning a brown egg, say from a hard-boiled egg, could be really problematic. And cracking them open as well, getting shell everywhere. I had no problems cracking in 2 pieces when I split them apart, and then easy disposal. So that was very handy and nice. So to cut down on salt, I use pepper, because you can always put as much pepper as you like on there. Is another tip if you don't want to use salt or you want to cut out salt. And here I made some fried onions as well to use up the oil. And with the cost of oil going up, it's ridiculously gone up in price as well due to the war in Ukraine and the cost of living crisis. So I cook the eggs first and then use the remaining oil to fry the onions. But as you can see here, pepper instead of salt. And the taste for the last thing, the taste was okay. I couldn't really taste it as much. Maybe that's because of other factors. But they were okay. They weren't the best. This is an initial test of the first white eggs that I have had in as much as 30 to 40 years. So we'll see how it goes in the future. Let me know, like I said, if you're getting white eggs or if white eggs is common. I've noticed that since I last had a white egg, lots of things have changed. The internet, YouTube. I've seen on YouTube videos, for example, lots of people, using eggs commercially, whether it's street vendors or in restaurants. And I believe in the US, because I've also seen, of course, they wash and they sell their eggs, white eggs, in fridges in the supermarkets. Here in the UK, not in fridges, in supermarkets. They're sold outside, but I always put them in the fridge when I get them, bring them home. But that's it. Let me know if you see any differences, or you have any differences, or if you get a mixture of brown eggs and white eggs, and which ones you prefer. Basically, that's it.